Hey everybody, Big Bam 1542 back yet again with another video. Today, I am going to be going over the letdown that was the Borderlands movie. Needless to say, this was rough. As a very, very long time Borderlands fan that's been playing since Borderlands 1, I will say this movie was not great. Contrary to popular statements, I will say the cast did great. I loved them. They were amazing. It was more so the material they were given that was the problem for me, I will say. I have a list of pros and cons that I would like to go over, and I will discuss them as I go. So, to start off, as I said just now, the cast did well with what they were given. I feel that they did very well. However, there were times where some things fell a little flat, but that's kind of to be expected, especially given the fact that most, and not most, some of the people that were actually producing it and directing it and whatnot were not fans of the Borderlands games. They did not take from the source material, so to speak. Always a problem with every single time that is done. Star Wars Acolyte, Halo series, the recent Halo series, The Witcher, which I will say if it wasn't for Henry Cavill, it would have been a lot worse. But if you're going to make a movie that already has the source material, please, for the love of God, get somebody that likes and enjoys the source material. Have them create the movie. Please learn from this. Everybody needs to learn from this. I am tired of these video game adaptations not living up to the hype that everybody has waited for so long, simply because people don't know who to get to work on the movie. You can definitely tell that it is made for fans and newcomers. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll get into. You can tell that the fan service was kind of thrown in there some of the times. It was good. The cameos were great. I loved them. But for most of the things, you had to have been a fan of the series to get. I don't want to go into spoilers, but we know that Lilith's pistol, she was holding the Infinity Pistol. Great gun, but not biggest weapon to go off of, I'd say, for a Borderlands specific weapon. Because we have so many amazing weapons that could have been the poster weapon for the movie itself. The Skull Masher, Sledge's shotgun, which honestly would have been absolutely amazing to see in the movie. God, thinking about it now, that would have been hilarious. But yeah, there's so many weapons that could have been it that would have looked like Borderlands. I gotta say it. Some of the weapon props in the game or in the movie do not look like Borderlands weapons. I have to say, it is not great. It is not a good look for some of those weapons. I'm not dissing the prop makers. They worked with what they were given, and I appreciate them. They did great. But come on, those do not look like Borderlands weapons. And as for the newcomer part, it's so hard to describe. It felt like that they were not really over-explaining things, but they were explaining things that didn't really have to be explained, I guess. Again, I don't really want to get into things into detail because I don't want to spoil things for anybody that may actually want to see this. It felt off, it just didn't feel right. But those are my pros for the movie. I enjoyed the cast. I feel like they did very well with what they were given. The amount of cameos felt okay. It could have been a bit more, but I'm not going to hold a grudge against that. And I could tell that it was made for fans and newcomers. Again, not sure if that was a pro or a con. It was kind of iffy on that. But onto the cons.
And here we go.
This one is pretty rough. So why go out of your way to get something when you already have it at home? Basically the mom saying, we already have, pancakes at home. What I'm trying to say with this is basically the story of the video games go almost exactly how the story went for the movies. It was not really all there. It kind of just, it went all out. It went straight for it. The game stories, it was a little bit confusing. It felt rushed. Kind of hard to keep up with. as well. It was nonstop, basically. Not always a good thing to be nonstop, but also wasn't really a bad thing because it actually kept interest a bit more. Not only that, but it did not feel like Borderlands.
The fact that Borderlands movie was restricted to a PG-13 rating severely limited it. Like, how are you going to make a rated M game PG-13 movie? I know you're trying to get, a broader audience, but come on. That's not Borderlands. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? You silly goose. You can't do that. It baffled me learning that Borderlands movie was going to be PG-13 because it could have been so much better.
In total, there were like 2 weapon name drops from the game series. All right, there was the Infinity, which we already knew about, and then there was also the Bone Shredder that was listed off. That's it. Why are we going to have all of these legendary weapons listed in the game, but only have 2 name dropped in the movies? If I missed any, then my bad. But there's still not enough, I'd say. The manufacturer gimmicks, come on. I understand that's not supposed to be like for Borderlands 3 and whatnot, because that's really where the manufacturer gimmicks kind of come from, mostly. And it's kind of hard to say to kind of show some of them, like the Hyperion, accuracy gets higher the more you shoot. Tedior. I know I saw in the very beginning Tedior being thrown. That's cool. That was cool. Throughout the rest of the movie, nothing else. There's no Torg. There's no Torg weapons. No explosions from weapons, I guess there's kind of an Atlas kind of thing going on for Borderlands 3 that's in the movie, but I'm not going to go into spoilers for that. I feel it's spoily, so I'm not going to say it. There's no Jacob's weapons, which is very upsetting, I must say. As a Jacob's connoisseur, so to say, I was missing that severely. It was sad, It didn't quite fit right. But the biggest letdown of all, there was barely any wildlife in that movie. We saw a couple of shots here and there of, skags and racks and the Thresher, of course, that we saw in the trailers. But we didn't really see the cast interact with any of these monsters, any of these wildlife, which was very upsetting because I was hoping, the spider ants, skags, racks, whatnot would try and fight the Vault Hunters, but that never happened. I was kind of sad about that. We didn't really have the things that made Borderlands. We didn't have the weapons. We didn't have the manufacturer gimmicks. We didn't have the wildlife interacting a lot with the cast. Of course, another con. The story. Again, as I said, it felt rushed, but also I don't know if I want to say this part. As we're used to, Marcus usually tells the story. Gives us the synopsis at the beginning of the game. But in this one, we did not get the synopsis from Marcus, which would have been so much better. I'm not gonna lie, the intro was great, but Marcus would have helped push that fan service a little bit more, and I would have really liked that. Also, the graphics were not amazing. They were a little bit rough at times. I'm not gonna blame the artist on that, because that's not really I don't really say it's something that they need to worry about, so to say. It's more of like the higher ups having their quality assurance, But I don't want to blame the artist on that. Next up, Krieg. Florian Montigny did great. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Please don't hurt me. He did great. All right, he was a great Krieg. Mannerisms, acting, all that kind of stuff was great. But I just feel like they kind of just threw him in there with the cast. I kind of feel like that Krieg kind of like felt like a side character a bit too much. I wanted a bit more Krieg than what we got. Sometimes we just lose him, and that's really it. One of the biggest gripes I've had since the trailer of the movie was, why is Crom Mouthpiece? Source material, it is right there, brother. You could tell that Crom and Mouthpiece are completely different. Why give Mouthpiece Crom's name if you could just say that the guy's name is Mouthpiece, or make Crom look like Crom? Excuse me, don't make Crom mouthpiece. All right, I'm gonna bring this up again. It felt rushed, even though it was filmed in 2021. I felt like it was ample time to kind of like flesh things out a bit more. Which, I mean, again, I don't really want to push blame on anybody. It's just, it's so hard, you know? The story was also too obvious, too cliche. Not to say it wasn't bad, but wasn't really Borderlandsy enough. Other than, you know, the pacing of it felt Borderlandsy, I guess. Which is not a great thing, I'd say. We needed more Vault Monster. That's all I'm gonna say. We needed more Vault Monster. I don't want to get into any spoilers again. That's it. We just needed more. To wrap this up, the question that everybody's asking, maybe, I don't know. I know I'm asking it. Where's Handsome Jack? Huh? Come on. Where's that? Where's he at? Give him. Give him to us. We want him. Also, this is a joke. Please don't hurt me. Overall, I say the movie is okay. It doesn't deserve a lot of the hate that it's getting right now, but I feel that it could have been a whole lot better. It really could have been. Granted, probably because I didn't go into it expecting amazing stuff, but I did go into it expecting some of the higher-ups to kind of understand what the fans want in the movie. It would have been great. If you look up the Borderlands movie cast on Google, you can see that Hammerlock is is noted in there. Why? just why? Why is he there? Just look at the cast of the movie on Google and just what is going on? Most of these people are not in here, or they don't really. They really shouldn't be on the cast. But yeah, that's interesting. I just noticed that as I was looking at it. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed my review. It's a little bit harsher than I wanted to do, but it definitely could have been worse. I love this franchise. I really, really want it to get better. Borderlands 4 really needs to step it up a notch. On release, it needs a whole lot of things that the fans are really looking forward to or really, really need. Especially if it's a quality of life change that was done on Borderlands 3 or any other previous title. We're basically going to be expecting it. Please, Borderlands 4, do not disappoint us. If so, there's going to be a lot of issues. Because I don't want to, you know, sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I know a lot of people are really looking forward to Borderlands 4, and if it doesn't live up to the hype, it's going to be a problem for a lot of people. I already know. I'm not looking forward to it if it is a disaster, but please. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. I hope that you have enjoyed what I had to say. I hope that you agree. If not, please let me know in the comments below what you think of the Borderlands movie if you have seen it. If you have not seen it, it's easier to critique something if you've actually seen it. Don't just go off of somebody else's word of it. But I'm just saying all of this as a warning. Do not go into it expecting amazing things, all right? It is not top tier, but it is also not horrible, all right? If you did enjoy my review, please consider subscribing, also leaving a like, and also a comment. Let me know what you think about the movie. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to interact with you guys. And that's it for now. Have a good one. Bye.